Good evening. My name is Ray Shipman, and for my assignment 3, Event Operations Volunteering, I chose the Memorial Rehab 3rd Annual Adaptive Sports and Recreation Expo at Markham Park, an event that I've been planning for the past 3 years. This assignment was very insightful. It gave me the opportunity to look at my event from a different lens as it relates to volunteering. Moving along, my job and how it relates to this event. I'm the manager of the Adaptive Sports and Recreation Program at the Memorial Rehabilitation Institute. At our rehab, we see patients who've suffered multiple traumas. Some of these traumas include spinal cord injuries, amputations, traumatic brain injuries, and the list goes on. It is my job to engage with our patients and the physically disabled community on getting them reacclimated to their new lives with the physical disabilities that they have. Ways in which I work in getting our patients reacclimated to their new lives is through sports and recreational activities. This event was a great way to raise awareness on our program by hosting an event for the entire community. Planning was a big part of this event. It took 4 months of preparation leading up to the big day. It was my job to put together a planning committee of individuals who work with organizations that cater to our physically disabled community. This involved meeting once a month leading up to the event, going over logistics, volunteering coordinations, reaching out to other organizations for partnerships as well. Another component of planning for this event were legal documents that I had to submit to our legal team as it relates to participants participating in our event. For instance, waivers. Our participants had to sign release waivers to participate. All of this that had to go to our legal department. Marketing for this event. There was tons of marketing on my behalf to raise the awareness on this event. It was my job to produce flyers and other marketing material to be sent out within our organization and to the community as well. This was a unique event like no other because it catered to our physically disabled community. So I had to make sure that we reached our target audience. In doing so, I purchased radio and TV ads to promote this event. This was our first year of purchasing ads, and the proof was in the numbers of how beneficial these ads were. This was the most attendance we have had in the 3 years of our event. Another component of my marketing strategy was to stay engaged with our former patients by sending them emails, postcards, and phone calls to let them know about the upcoming event. I also stayed engaged with community organizations who cater to the physically disabled community in the hopes that they would share our flyer with their target audiences. These are a few of the marketing ads that we purchased. I was able to go on CBS and various healthcasts on Channel 10 News. On these platforms, I gave updates on our progress leading up to the event, detailing activities that we will be offering, organizations that are partnering with us, and just trying to keep the energy up leading up to the event. Volunteer management as it relates to this assignment. Even though I was the director and coordinator of this event, I saw myself as somewhat of a volunteer. A lot of my work went beyond the 8-hour days at my job. It was my job to coordinate the volunteers. I had to make sure we had enough volunteers and that each volunteer was assigned to an activity to assist in. We split the volunteers into 2 shifts. The first shift was from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. This shift mainly consisted of setting up for the event. The second shift was from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. This shift was more engaged with the participants and helped them navigate throughout the events. I was sure to make sure that our volunteers were adequate enough to work with our participants. Our participants needed special attention due to the physical disabilities that they had. I was very precise in reaching out to Nova Southeastern University Physical Therapist Program, who had expertise in transferring individuals with physical disabilities. I also connected with Taravella High School baseball team for the first shift. These guys were tremendous in helping us move tables and lift other things in setup. As you guys might recall, I also solicited for volunteers in our first class for this event. I was able to get 2 of my classmates to come out and volunteer. David Edwards and Sparkle did a tremendous job in volunteering at this event. I wasn't able to get a picture with David, but I was with Sparkle. As you can see us right here in the middle with a huge height difference. Another component of volunteer management at this event, I had to make sure that I accommodated to these volunteers. These volunteers volunteered their hours on their weekends. So I had to make sure that we made sure every volunteer was comfortable. Every volunteer was able to park for free and received a free meal voucher at the event. Activity coordinating. Now the fun part. This is what really made the event worthwhile. Seeing the participants enjoy themselves in these activities. In these pictures here, you can see a few of the activities that I coordinated. We had adaptive water sailing and wheelchair basketball. It was my job to find organizations who had programs like this. I reached out to Anne's Angel Foundation in Winter Haven, who flew down to come assist with adaptive water skiing. They brought their equipment and more volunteers to help in this activity. Wheelchair basketball. At my rehab facility, we have our own wheelchair basketball team. Our guys came out and did a wheelchair basketball demonstration and helped others in wheelchairs learn more about wheelchair basketball. We also offered hand cycling. Hand cycling is for individuals who have low mobility in their lower extremities. These bikes allow them to navigate using their hands. We also had sailing. I partnered with the Youth Environmental Alliance, who brought out their sailboats to give participants that sailing experience. A key factor to all of these activities was that we made it accessible for individuals with physical disabilities. All of our activities were sure to meet the ADA codes. This included implementing ramps and making pathways a lot more accessible for wheelchairs and other devices that these participants had. Overall, I would say it was a great event. I've received tons of feedback saying it was the best event in our 3 years of having this event. The last part of this volunteering assignment was me doing recaps and debriefing. I had to make sure that everyone who contributed to this event received personal handwritten thank you cards from myself, and just to show a token of my appreciation. I followed up with all our organizations to make sure that everything ran smoothly, they received all of their equipment back, and then lastly, I have now started to set up debriefing meetings to receive feedback from participants and our committee to see things that we could do for next year to make this event even better. All in all, I enjoyed this experience. It was an event that took tons of preparations, marketing, volunteer coordinating, and volunteering myself. I really enjoyed this assignment, as I mentioned, because it let me look at this event and my involvement as it relates to volunteering.